Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to this special video where we're taking a look at the gift shops that have been added today to Update 6. First of all, thank you as always to Frontier for letting me have an early look at this, get some of this ready for you today. This one's a little bit different because we are going to go across the Geekism cinematic universe. We're going into Planquatica, Saving Storybook and Meanderville to retrofit a gift shop in each of them, and I'm going to sort of go into more detail as we go on. So here, first of all, we are in flotations in Planquatica. Jeez, I'm getting all the words muddled up. And this is a real simple retrofit. This is a building that's already on the workshop. I will re-upload it to the workshop with this gift shop feature added once I'm able to. The workshop thing's all locked off for us while we have early access, which is fair enough. And here, really, I'm doing a very simple fit of the gift shop into this. So we're making the colours sort of match the wood and bamboo and do a little bit of theming, but for the most part I just kind of wanted to throw the stuff down and actually see how it works. So we're taking out the info desk that was there and adding in the gift shop. We're doing the automatic modular filling where it just puts stuff randomly on all of these shelves, and then I just tried to do a little bit of scenery. I just want to make sure the scenery didn't mess with the pieces, that the guests still wandered around them or what have you, and even the fact that we could do this. You can. This works just how you would do anything else in the gift shops. Any of the built-in stuff, basically. You can cover up a trash can, you can cover up stuff in this, and then you can go through and select the pieces individually, and we're still going to keep our poo noodles there because it's pretty good. So there you go. This is like simple what you can do. You throw the counter down, you throw the stuff down, they'll come in and walk around. You will note that the round shelving there that I lifted up to sit on the edges there. Here, watch these guys here. They walk over and they so I was kind of hoping they would just stay on the ground because all they do is look. They don't actually grab things off the shelves, but unfortunately their animation is tied to the base of the shelving. So whilst there are some fun stuff you can do with the shelving, that isn't one of them, and I will go back and correct that so we don't have floaty guests. Anyway, that's flotations. Let's go into a bit more detail now with Saving Storybook. So for those of you who don't know, Saving Storybook is my recreation of a local kids theme park that's full of sort of play areas and little kiddie rides that I always feel like could just do with like 20 million put into it, and that's basically what this is. We're rebuilding it and then also giving it a bit of a budget, sticking in a couple of little coasters and what have you. And it does actually have the treasure chest gift shop that was here already built, as it is a classic sort of exit through the gift shop setup. This, you enter the main gates, and then just to the left is the gift store, and then the main gates are closed at sort of midday or what have you, and you leave through the gift shops and you get that ridiculous overcharge costs of plushies and whatever. And it's a classic sort of local family attraction gift shop as well. Very little actually branded stuff. It's just selling like Beanie Babies and like science kits and Ravensburger jigsaws. You know, all of the standard stuff you kind of see in these long snake plushies and what have you. So you know, it's a cute little place. So I'm not really doing anything crazy with this one. I did want to sort of play around with hiding the sort of plasticky nature of the gift shop stuff a little bit. One thing I will say, as a feature, I really love this. I think they've done a really great implementation of this as a feature. The only thing I would have really liked to have seen is people take stuff from the shelving and walk it to the counter, because that would have really added a lot of vibrancy and sort of movement and kinetic energy to the place. But as it stands, they go over, they point, and they ooh, and they coo, and they ooh and they are at the stuff, and that's fine. We've been building these gift shops like this for years now in Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo. I actually have them in Planet Zoo now. They're a little different to this, but they have them in Planet Zoo. But for a long time before that, we were building all of this stuff out of art shapes and scenery, and guests just randomly wandered through it. Here now, just having the guests be able to go in and interact with the stuff is really fantastic. And like I said, overall, I think it's pretty well implemented, because what I like about it, and what I'm trying to show in this video, is that it's almost tiered into how much effort you put into this. You can just go, like we just did with Planquatica there, throw the stuff down, attach it to the counter, bing, bash, bosh, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, the stuff's ready to go. Or you can do this. You can recolor the stuff, and all of the items that are placed down there, the hats, the t-shirts, I say all of them, I think most of them. I'm struggling to find a couple of scenery pieces. They're not very well labeled, but most of them are in the game just as a scenery piece. So you can go in and then start to just make something look a little nicer there. So we did with the caps there, you can see it's the caps is just the regular shelving, but you can just throw a few above it and it just looks like the display is a little bit more ostentatious, a little bigger, fills the space up quite nice as well. It's about this is all just gift shop build. Like I said, this building was just a rabbit den, just a hole that you would walk through. So I did want to go back. There's a beautiful stained glass window there in the real storybook. So I thought, well, now we've got something to look at through the window. We'll put it in. The counter is quite plain. It's not as plain as just the desk counters from the game. I don't really know why. Maybe because it works a little differently. You don't have one of these as the box, the 4-meter box. So they didn't feel like they needed to do both versions. Personally, I would have preferred the desk one. This is nice and plain enough that you can cover it with a few pieces, but you have to have a little think about it, how it gets covered, a little bit more so than with the desks that are a lot just a real bare framework. So you are going to have to spend a little bit more time covering these up. You'll see there's just a piece that sort of sticks out, and there's 1,000 ways to do this. Art shapes, scenery pieces, walls. I'm not saying it's a real problem. It's an interest of note to me that they didn't just give us the plain desk that we've been using anywhere else. So even though we have gift shops, there's still nothing wrong with adding in a bit of scenery just to kind of fill them out. One of the gift shop things in game are these poster boxes. And they populate with poster tubes or umbrellas. You can choose which one it is. So I wanted to have the selection of posters next to them. That's usually how you see those things, right? There's that big sort of metal book, for want of a better word, where you can flick through the posters, and then near it or underneath it, there's a selection where the posters actually are, and you can pull them out, and then usually numbered. You flick through the book and see that you like poster 20, and then you go and find the tube with 20 written on it. So that's kind of what I wanted to emulate there. And then here, doing it again, it's a little bit of light theming, colouring all of the shelving to match the wood, but then giving it a top there, a counter, and placing it in. And it's just a case of making sure that counter is low enough so that when it populates with stuff like this... Oh no, wait, we have something else to talk about. There's a cap on how much shelving you can have, and it's a little low in my opinion. So we cut it down to this. There we go. It populates the stuff in. So this setup is definitely built for the sort of end of the ride gift shops, I feel, rather than the sort of huge Main Street gift shops of Disney. What you're going to have to do there is really break them down. And that's probably not a terrible idea either, though, to be honest with you. Have a counter that just deals with t-shirts, have a counter that just deals with mugs, if you want to have those real sprawling gift shops that you see in some of the bigger parks, because there is a cap on a gift shop. It's something like 4 counters and 40 shelving units, and each of those is counted individually. So bear that in mind. Again, I'm learning this so that you don't have to. So 1, the stuff has to be on the floor. 2, you can have 40 of it. Okay, let's go and do a proper geekism level gift shop in Meanderville. Alright, this is FaZe's gift shop across from the carousel. In the last episode of Meanderville, we retrofitted this to be able to accept an interior, and this was a lot of fun to do, because I really wanted to sort of dial this up and see really what sort of scope you can get to with this new gift shop system, how detailed you can go, how far away can you remove it from the base game version. And you can actually do pretty well with it. Honestly, I was really quite impressed. One of the things that I'm very happy they did, and I feel like they've done this purely for people like me, purely for the detailers out there, is that you can attach a shelf unit to a counter, have it part of the gift shop, but then you can tell that shelf unit to show nothing. You can have it be empty. But as far as the game is concerned, the mechanics of the game, it is still showing things and is able to sell things. And the reason why that is great is because, coupled with the fact that all of the items are in as scenery pieces as well, it means you can have a lot more different shaped shelving and a lot busier shelving as well. One thing I will say about the auto-populated shelves is they're a little bare. There's not that much stuff on them, really. Even some of the bigger shelving, if you select plushies or there's hats, there's a selection of hats based on the mascots in the game, like it puts one on each shelf, and you can only imagine how frustrated the people working in that place would actually feel about the shelf being empty every time somebody bought one thing. So what we're going to do now is really try and use that empty shelf system plus the items in as scenery to make actually busy full shelves and a little bit closer to what I would expect to find in a higher themed theme park such as what Meanderville is trying to be. So you'll see we're still using the shelving systems. They're still there because that gets the guests to wander over and look at the stuff, which is really great fun. But we're going to completely cover them, completely hide them into a booth system that is similar to how Universal does a lot of their stores. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures on the screen now, and this was that point of reference. And the thing I like about these is they kind of theme each booth to a character or to a ride or to an area or what have you, and because of the options in the game with the scenery pieces, we can kind of do that. So we're going to be using some of the fantasy theming that also came with this update to give that sort of stone wall in the background. I don't hate the marble look of whatever the wall is there, but I prefer the matte finish of the stone wall. And here is our first t-shirt, and I forget what it is. There's 5 t-shirts, I think, one for all of the themes in the base game. Some stuff doesn't have a thing for it in the base, like every mug there is a theme. There's only 3 plush though. I would like to see more plush. There's a Queen Splash, a King Coaster, and a Pegasus for the mythology theme. I'd love to see a plushie octopus for the aquatic theme. I'd love to see a plushie dragon for the Viking theme. You know, I hope they come. I hope they get added in an update later on, because it feels half finished right now with those, and especially plushies, such a big part of merchandise. You'll see in a moment, we actually make a plushie, big sort of central island full of plush. I want a lot of those. Stuffy toys, cuddly toys, plushies, whatever you want to call them. I want more of them. One thing they have done is given us like a prop for each of the mascots. There's a hammer that looks a bit like Mjolnir. There's the camera that the thing uses, and they're fine, but I think plush actually is a little bit more useful. Sorry, I didn't want to talk over that bit. What I did there is duplicated all of those booths and then just go back in and repopulate them with different stuff, so you kind of get that each one being a different thing. There's different t-shirts and what have you. What I'd really like to just be able is to recolor them. Like, I'm happy with the t-shirts having 5 designs on, but they're not the actual fabric. It would be really nice if they were recolorable, because then it gives you endless options for each t-shirt then, as opposed to just the 5 basic ones. And the things, there's a keyring box. It's just a little plain box with a keyring on. If that was recolorable, that would be much more useful as well. They could show off lots of different things, the board games or the jigsaws, wherever they are. It would be nice if the base color of those would be recolorable as well. It would just give us a lot more options, and the shelves wouldn't look quite as samey as they do. But saying that, what they have put in is fantastic, and the fact that we can have it all as scenery items and then have the shelves empty means we can make these really sort of busier shelving units, and I think they look great. I'm really, really impressed with the way they've put this into the game. It doesn't necessarily feel half-assed. It feels like a really fleshed out system that they've done a really good job on. But if I can offer any feedback, it would just be that. Give me a plush for each theme and let me recolor some of this stuff, and that I would be very, very, very happy with this system, as opposed to very, very happy that I am currently, I guess. So yeah, there's all those items. That firefly jar, I don't remember that from the fairy tale theme. It feels like it fits in the fairy tale theme. I don't remember that at all. It's nice though, it's cute, so we placed it in, and then all the other items, put them along the back there, and the idea is that they're that slightly higher end sort of, they're the lightsabers at Galaxy's Edge, they're the magic ones at Hogwarts, the Harry Potter areas or what have you. That they're a little setback. They're for the dads with too much disposable income. They're not really kids' toys type things. That's kind of what I tried to make there with the glass shelves behind the counter. And then here in the middle, Again, using some of that fancy stuff that we loved, the little fountain there, but we covered it up just to make this this plushie display. And yeah, the 3 plushies that are in the game, they look great. They're scalable, so we can technically have, you know, small and large ones of each. But yeah, a little bit more variation there with those would be great, because I want to fill all of my gift shops with plush forever. This ship is a little bit of a placeholder because I kind of ran out of time with my early access of this, so we aren't finished with this store at all, but I kind of wanted to just get that screenshot there for you just to show that with a little bit of time and effort, you can really get these gift shops to look very individual. And you get the guests walking over and looking at the stuff and then going over to the counter to buy stuff. It keeps that keeps that movement up, and gets the space used, and that's always a very exciting thing for builders when we build stuff like this. So yeah, really happy with how this has turned out. We'll be going obviously in our next episode of Meanderville to finish this off, but just kind of wanted to show you those 3 levels of detail. Just plonk the stuff down, it looks pretty good. Plonk the stuff down, but add a little bit of theme in, that works quite well. Or you can go fully custom with something like this. It depends on your time and your effort and how much you want to put into this sort of stuff, but I think it turns out overall really quite well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.